Some people don't fall apart when things go wrong. They joke. They stay calm. They handle chaos better than most people handle silence. And when you see that, you might think, they're so strong. But here's the part people miss. That strength didn't come for free. People who've been strong for too long often didn't choose it. They adapted to it. When you've had to survive emotional pressure, instability, or responsibility earlier than you should have, your mind rewires itself. Not in a broken way. In a protective way. Your brain learns to stay alert, to read the room, to anticipate outcomes before they happen. So when someone cuts you off in traffic, you don't explode. You pause. You rationalize. You assume there's a reason. Because when you've lived through real storms, small chaos doesn't feel the same anymore. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. People who've been strong for too long develop a kind of emotional endurance. Not immunity to pain, but resistance to collapse. They know pain won't kill them. They've already proven that. And strangely, this often turns them into deeply empathetic people. They notice tone shifts, forced smiles, silences that feel heavier than words. They don't just hear what people say. They sense what's underneath. Most people walk into a room and notice furniture. They notice emotional temperature. But this depth comes with a cost. Their nervous system doesn't fully relax. Ever. They sit facing the door. They over-prepare. They have backup plans for situations that don't need one. It's not paranoia. It's a system that learned safety is temporary. And here's something subtle but important. They often minimize their own experiences. It wasn't that bad. I'm fine. Other people had it worse. They're not lying. They survived by believing they could handle it. So admitting struggle now feels like weakness, even when it isn't. Relationships become complicated too. People who've been strong for too long often crave connection, but feel tense when it actually arrives. They'll show up for you without hesitation. But asking for help themselves feels unnatural. Needing someone once came with consequences. So independence became survival. It looks like strength, but it can feel like loneliness. And yet, there's something remarkable about them. They adapt quickly. They handle change well. They can rebuild their life without panic. They often use humor, especially dark humor. Not because they're numb, but because laughter takes power away from pain. Every joke is quiet defiance. They also have a strange relationship with control. They stay calm about big uncertainties, but overthink small decisions. Because they learned early on that the big things are rarely controllable. So the small things become anchors. They're paradoxes. Strong but sensitive. Guarded but generous. Calm on the outside, constantly processing on the inside. And beneath all of this, there's often a quiet grief. Not for what happened, but for who they were before they had to be strong. They miss a version of themselves that trusted easily. That didn't scan every room. That didn't rehearse conversations or brace for impact. They're homesick for a softness they didn't get to keep. But this grief doesn't break them. It refines them. It makes them value peace. Safe people. Gentle moments. So if you recognize yourself in this, understand something important. You're not damaged. You're adapted. Your strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about learning how to reassemble yourself, even when some pieces changed. People who've been strong for too long don't just survive. They develop insight, compassion, depth. And that's not weakness. That's a mind shaped by endurance. If this felt familiar, you're not alone. There are more minds like yours than you think. Subscribe for more insights like this. And if this video spoke to you, let me know in the comments. You don't have to explain your depth here. You're already understood.